Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into the life of a German soldier during World War II. We'll uncover how pervatin fueled their early victories, explore the role of radio operators in battle, compare soldier diets across armies, and delve into the nitty-gritty of rations, pay, and hygiene. Get ready for a detailed look at the realities faced by Germany's frontline troops in the 1940s. Sit tight and join us on this historical journey. Meet our esteemed guest radio operator, Ludwig Averkamp, on this June 7, 1940. As one can well imagine, the morale among our troops is soaring as the German army relentlessly crushes the French forces. The so-called Battle of France, particularly its decisive phase from June 5 to 12, scarcely resembles a battle. Rather, it's reminiscent of a one-sided thrashing. Despite the valiant efforts of the French, they struggle to counter the German onslaught. Positioned not far from the River Seine as part of Army Group B, Ludwig is gearing up to contribute to the defeat of the 10th Corps of the French and the supporting Scottish Division. Ludwig's buoyant spirits stem not merely from the superiority of German equipment, where the French lagged slightly, but rather from the brilliance of the Third Reich's tactics and strategy. Unlike the French, whose military operations seem mired in World War II apologies, the German army operates with remarkable efficiency. Orders, even from Berlin, swiftly reach the front lines, thanks to the adeptness of the communication channels. Each combat-ready unit, including Ludwig's, boasts a radio operator tirelessly transmitting reconnaissance information to headquarters and relaying directives back to field commanders. The stark contrast in operational agility between the German and French armies is evident daily to German soldiers, reinforcing their unwavering confidence in victory. Yet, beyond morale, another crucial factor propels the Germans' relentless campaign: the widespread use of pervatin. Recent revelations from a PBS documentary, Secrets of the Dead, shed light on the pivotal role of this amphetamine in the French campaign. It's almost certain that Ludwig, like many of his comrades, consumed pervatin, officially distributed among lower ranks of the army. Pervatin's effects are well known. It boosts energy, dispels fatigue, and accelerates performance. However, its long-term consequences on health are dire. Yet, amidst the pursuit of victory, concerns for soldiers' long-term well-being seem negligible to command. Victory, it appears, is the primary objective, regardless of the costs to individual health. The need for immediate energy led soldiers to willingly use pervatin and even cocaine, a practice not exclusive to the Germans, as similar tactics were employed by the British and Americans. While Americans mainly supplied these substances to sentries and guards to maintain vigilance, medics also utilized pervatin to treat the wounded and alleviate post-traumatic stress. Ludwig, like many others, regularly took pervatin, but the biological toll, requiring significant calorie intake, was evident, necessitating substantial food consumption. Contrary to myths, soldiers like Ludwig adhered to strict diets, acknowledging Napoleon's adage that an army's strength lies in its nourishment. Under the meticulous guidance of Richard Walter Darrah, the Third Reich meticulously calculated diets, ensuring soldiers received specific caloric allocations. Field kitchens accompanied mobile divisions, providing soldiers with meager breakfasts, substantial lunches comprising meat, fruits, and vegetables, and often duplicated breakfasts for dinner, illustrating the average food policy. Despite myths surrounding lavish meals, Ludwig only received field rations during campaigns or combat situations, authorized by command. In the absence of the ability to set up a kitchen, provisions were referred to as iron rations, divided into half and full categories. The half ration typically comprised 200 grams of tinned meat and 250 grams of crackers. The full iron ration varied depending on the severity of the situation, often dictated by combat conditions. In such cases, soldiers would receive maximum packed rations, including 850 grams of canned food, 150 grams of peas, and 20 to 50 grams of coffee substitute. Sweets were absent from these rations, reflecting German practicality, prioritizing calorie density and portability over taste. Despite efforts to maximize sustenance, the rations were not known for their palatability. Soldiers would occasionally receive sweets from home or confiscated from enemies, offering temporary respite. As the war progressed, shortages exacerbated the situation. Notably, the coffee substitute, often derived from acorns, was a widespread beverage among soldiers, though far from resembling real coffee. Nevertheless, it provided warmth and a sense of comfort amidst the rigors of military life. Despite its shortcomings, the food distribution system was pragmatic, ensuring soldiers remained adequately nourished. However, the prevalence of health issues among troops, exacerbated by overuse of stimulants, remained a persistent concern. Transitioning to compensation, soldiers like R. Ludwig, occupying the lowest ranks, received combat pay amounting to 30 Reichsmarks monthly, exempt from taxation. Typically, funds were automatically transferred to a German bank account for the soldiers' convenience, although they could also access some marks locally or receive payments in installments every 10 days. As our camp advanced in rank, the earnings increased, starting at 35 marks for basic soldiers, 60 marks for sergeants, and officers ranging from 70 to 200 marks, with even a brigadier general earning comparatively little in Ludwig's, despite commanding thousands. However, Hitler's practice of granting officers bonuses and gifts ensured contentment among soldiers and officers alike, often coinciding with his birthday celebrations. Returning to our camp's earnings of 30 marks, approximately equivalent to $15 in today's currency, it was relatively modest compared to British or American counterparts, but still considered respectable. This amount doubled the earnings of a civilian milling machine operator in Frankfurt. Additionally, Ludwig received a half-mark bonus for each combat day in 1940, promising a seemingly prosperous future amidst the belief in imminent victory. However, reality proved harsh, as evidenced by the eventual outcome. Transitioning to another stereotype, the belief in improved hygiene post-World War did not entirely reflect Ludwig's reality. Despite expectations, conditions on the Eastern Front, as documented by soldiers Weiger and Neuenbusch, were dire, plagued by lice, parasites, and diseases due to inadequate hygiene practices. It's probable that our camp fared better in 1940, but the contrast with prevailing beliefs remained striking. However, as evidenced by numerous sources, it was difficult to characterize German soldiers as merely clean individuals. Ultimately, Ludwig emerges as yet another soldier among the countless others before and after him. The distinguishing factor lies in the unprecedented level of war crimes committed by the German army, a grim reality ironically overlooked by many Germans themselves. According to a WW2 survey, 50 out of 24 Germans consider themselves descendants of Hitler's victims, rather than acknowledging the horrors and disgrace brought about by the soldiers. It's undeniable that the SS, notorious for its war crimes, was not the sole perpetrator. Ordinary soldiers also participated in the atrocities. The notion of a clean Wehrmacht has been long debunked. A lot of what they did was just as bad as the other parts of the Nazi regime, involving serious war crimes and cruelty. Sure, there were some decent acts, but they were the exception. We need to look at these actions for what they were, huge mistakes from our history. Remembering these things helps make sure we don't make the same mistakes again. Thank you for watching. Please share your thoughts and feedback in the comments below. Your support is invaluable in enabling me to create more content for you. And in the meantime, make sure to check our other videos on World War II.